Exploring still further down the Mekong, I become very conscious that we're seeing no large cities or industrial sites. Laos is still a rural country. Its people living a simple subsistence and communal lifestyle in this rugged forested terrain. They come together at their daily markets to buy and sell an impressive range of locally grown and caught products. A few are acquired taste though, like congealed blood mixed with water. They use this to cook. And barbecued rats on a stick. One very active hill tribe we visit here are the Tai Lu. They dominate local commerce, producing a range of products they trade as far afield as Thailand and China.
Tai Lu actually means Tai Low, so these people live in the lowlands along the river, usually.
Okay, and in a village like this, we're seeing quite a lot of sophisticated activity. What we're watching them weave here today are what they would call, what, skirts?
Yeah, they just call it Lao, and it's the famous skirt, and the Tai Lu people, it's their traditional dress.
And this integrates both silk and cotton in the one garment?
Exactly. Usually it's a cotton dress with silk embroidery.
Nearby, the men of this Tai Lu village work together to create a giant sleeping mat.
They tend to work in a community. It's quite a communal system. Same applies to building houses. If a house has to be built, all the villagers come in and help, and the same applies with the mats, the bamboo mats that they make.
Everyone in the village has their chores. The girls pound rice. And this young boy hangs freshly killed buffalo out to dry. One pastime is only enjoyed by the older women. They alone chew betel nut, a very mild narcotic that leaves their teeth and gums deeply stained. It's now late afternoon and time to take shelter. These are moments to reflect and appreciate the sheer beauty of the Mekong. Early next morning, we're enveloped in heavy fog. It's through this mysterious mist that we head towards a very holy Buddhist site. These are the limestone caves of Pakao, filled with statues of the Buddha. As is the local custom, most of the statues are standing rather than sitting in the lotus position.
In the year 1560, and the king Satetalat, who was based in Luang Prabang nearby, made this a sacred site. And in 1560 they came and brought some Buddhist statues and have every year since.
Every April, to celebrate the Laotian New Year, pilgrims come to pay tribute and add a new statue of Lord Buddha. At last count, there were some 7,000 statues, a reminder that Laos has the greatest concentration of Buddhists in all of Southeast Asia. Back on the Mekong, we're bound for a settlement where Buddhism is heavily practiced, Luang Prabang. Right on dawn, thousands of Buddhist monks leave their monasteries in single file to begin this daily ritual. Waiting for them, most of the residents of Luang Prabang, with their offerings of rice and gifts. Such is their commitment to Buddhism that almost all of the men in Laos will practice as monks at some time in their lives, if only for a few months. Among those waiting, a woman who, if history had gone otherwise, would now be the most powerful woman in the country. This is Princess Manalai, these days living a quiet life in Luang Prabang. Before the current communist regime came to power, she was part of the royal family who ruled Laos. The royal family once lived in this impressive palace, among them Princess Manalai. Now, all that changed back in 1975 when the current Pathet Lao regime deposed the monarchy. Had that not occurred, Princess Manalai would today be Queen. The royal palace was built a century ago during the early French colonial era. It was the king's official residence until the Pathet Lao regime took control, threw the king out and converted it to a museum. There's a statue of the former king, Sisavang Vong, and a highly ornate religious pavilion known as the Hor Pa Bang. Nearby is the Princess Hotel, once the residence of the king's wife, and now owned and run as a business by Princess Manalai and her family. The princess herself is very pleased to welcome us to her home, but reluctant to talk about what happened to her family.
My husband is his father is the son of first wife.
Okay. Of the first wife?
It was first wife.
So
that's why he is the crown.
The crown prince.
And what happened to the king?
I don't know what happened for the government.
So they just disappeared? Yeah?
I don't know how to say.
Exactly how the royal family disappeared may never be made public, although it's rumoured they were taken to a cave in the mountains where they died of starvation. Outside, we take to Luang Prabang's fascinating old streets in a motorbike sidecar known as a sandlog.
It's one of my favourite towns in Asia, you know, and UNESCO have actually made this whole town a World Heritage Site.